just arriving in Lviv after our overnight train, and we actually slept pretty good. They kicked on the AC, even had to cover up. Just had some coffee and tea, and we'll catch an Uber and head to our Airbnb. Very exciting. Because we knew we'd be arriving early in the morning before any accommodation would let us check in, we paid for an extra night at our Airbnb so that we could go in directly from the train station. This place is huge. It's 4 stories up from the ground, and there's a couple locks to get in, so this is a cool couch. And kitchen area, which is just massive. Huge bathroom with a washer. In through here, these nice double doors, is the bedroom. Like, very cool. This is definitely one of the more spacious Airbnbs we've ever had. The Odessa one was big. It was good size. It wasn't quite this spacious, but it was a good amount of space. And an ironing board and and a little mini. Look at this. A little miniature ironing board. We took an Uber to get to our apartment, and luckily the host was nice enough to give us breakfast recommendations. It was this recommendation that led us to eat our way through Lviv. What is it?
A rose cappuccino.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's just a rose.
Does it taste like rose?
It tastes like we are in Bulgaria.
Wow. Well, we're a little bit closer over here.
That's fantastic.
Do you recommend it?
I highly recommend it. If you like rose flavored things, it's good.
This is a salty cappuccino with a little heart on top. It's very hot. Salty. It's like the cappuccino version of salted caramel ice cream. It's definitely worth it. Lviv uses much more the Ukrainian language than Odessa. The people say tak instead of da. It's just a fun town to walk around and eat and drink, and it has a lively nightlife, and it's also a college town. As usual, we started with the free walking tour. The Lviv free walking tour we took is run by a Polish group called Free Walkative Tour. We started with the Old Town Lviv tour. This took us around the main square into the surrounding streets. Old Town is amazing, but just know it's very touristy. It's not Italy level touristy, but for this area it's much more touristy than where we had just come from in Odessa. I also booked us on a paid tour called Legendary Bars and Cafes Tour. This was also through the Free Walkative Tour people and cost about $12. Just know the tour isn't available every day, but if you have time to take it, it's well worth the $12. You get several drinks throughout the tour, and for any alcohol beverages, there are always non-alcoholic options. Depending on the day, there'll be a variety of drinks offered, including coffee. But the most important thing for us was the introduction of kvass. Kvass is a non-alcoholic carbonated drink made from bread. It's refreshing, it's really good, and the only time we were able to find it outside of Lviv was at a park in Kyiv, which we'll cover in another video. The tour finishes at Pravda Bar. This bar has so many great craft beer options you'll barely be able to walk out. They also have live music and a souvenir shop, and if you spend enough at the souvenir shop, you get a free beer. I recommend this tour too because if you get a great guide like we had, you learn so much about life in Ukraine. There are tons of bars and restaurants all over Lviv, and most of them do takeout and take credit cards. There are lots of vegetarian and vegan options as well. We kept going to the same 2 places because they were near our Airbnb apartment, but here's some of our favorites. Sukor was where we had our breakfast most mornings. They have amazing food and coffee drinks. The portions are large, the staff is friendly, and they have English menus. Next door, Marussia specializes in vareniki. They have savory and sweet options, but whatever you do, don't pass up the cherry vareniki. And vareniki is the same as what you would have in Poland called pierogi. Another favorite spot, mostly for lunch, is the post office cafe called Pashta. This place served great pasta and had great drinks. But just be warned, they have a large menu, but they don't always have what's on the menu. So you have to ask the server kind of what they have for the day and then just go with it. And they also have 2 kinds of Pravda beer. For dessert and coffee, we loved Verminka. They roast your coffee using hot sand, and it's an Armenian coffee place. If you're out and about, don't pass up dessert at Fresca. They have sweet and savory treats and all kinds of coffee and chocolate. I had hot chocolate with cognac, and I'm not talking about powder and hot milk. I'm talking about real melted dark chocolate with really good cognac. It was so good I can't even discuss it. While we did enjoy the food, Lviv also has a lot of other points of interest. Be sure to check out all the beautiful cathedrals around the city. You can also go to the top of the tower in the main square. We did this, but for whatever reason, heights aren't really my thing, so this was not my highlight of Lviv. We also saw an opera performance. We were in a side room, which was really cool, and the performance was amazing, but the room was also not air-conditioned, so we did roast during the performance. One of the coolest things we did was take an Uber out to the cemetery. Kelsey loves to look through cemeteries, so we made sure to have enough time to look through everything they had there. It's really interesting to look at all the different stones, especially the ones from the Soviet era. Lviv was part of Poland at one time, so there are many Polish people buried there. The cemetery has an admission and costs extra for cameras. They also do have a pay toilet. Just be sure you have enough change because the person running it will not have any change. Like the Darth Vader statue in Odessa, we like to find things that are off the beaten path. And thanks to Atlas Obscura, one of the cool things we found to do in Lviv is the Yard of Lost Toys. This area is in a residential courtyard in an apartment complex. It was hard for us to find, but not really a long walk from Old Town. We absolutely loved Lviv and did not want to leave all the food, coffee, and chocolate. We can't recommend enough all the free tours that Walkative offered, and we loved the Jewish tour. Once our time was up in Lviv, we took an express train to Kyiv.